everyone, and welcome to the After Purity Project. Thank you so much for your interest in my research. With the After Purity Project, you have the opportunity to contribute to a deeper understanding of the impact of evangelical purity culture and the impact it's had on so many people, including myself. I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about the project in order to help you decide if becoming a participant is right for you. So I am Sarah Moslimer. I am a lecturer in the Department of Philosophy and Religion at Central Michigan University. I teach courses on the history of religion and sexuality in the United States and courses on religion and race in the United States. So all the easy things that people like to talk about. So I have been studying evangelical purity culture for over a decade. I started as a graduate student in a religious studies program, and I just never stopped. Even when it wasn't clear that I wasn't going to have a career as a university professor, I knew that I wanted to produce something about the history of the evangelical purity movement because I came to realize that this work was not just about making my mark as a scholar, but about telling a story that helped me make sense of my own experiences. So in 2015, my first book, Virgin Nation, Sexual Purity in American Adolescence, here it is right here, was published by Oxford University Press. By that time, I had finished my second year in my current job at CMU, and my really only goal was to get the book out there and enjoy the satisfaction of putting something out into the world that was the result of years of hard work. And but then something weird happened. People read the book and they started talking about it and writing about it. You see, those of us who write academic books expect that only a few people will ever read them. And if we're lucky, those few people will talk about them and use them to teach and write and explain important ideas. Academic books don't usually receive a lot of attention, so when bloggers and journalists and podcasters took notice of Virgin Nation, I realized a couple of things. First, people are so hungry to make sense of their own experiences with evangelical purity culture, and they are so hungry to connect with other people who have had these same experiences. Second, I learned that academic research can and should connect people to their own stories and to one another. So I started to think about a next project that summer that would invite anyone to contribute their experiences and help us understand more deeply the impact of purity teachings have had on so many people's lives. I'm by no means the only person who has been asking this question. So many people have been writing and organizing and studying and teaching and preaching about the harmful consequences of purity culture, that it's become its own movement. In 2013, Abigail Ryan of The Atlantic named this phenomenon post-purity. So my goal with the After Purity Project is twofold. First, to chronicle this post-purity movement by conducting interviews with people who've been doing this work and making noise. People like Linda K. Klein, whose book Pure, Inside the Movement That Shamed a Generation of Young People and How I Broke Free. If you haven't checked this book out, please do so. It's really, really wonderful. Linda has invited me to study her work as the director of an organization called Break Free Together. This is an organization that provides religious communities with the opportunity to work through the harmful legacies of purity culture. And I'm so excited to be collaborating with Linda on this. Again, that's Linda K. Klein and her book, Pure. But After Purity isn't just about people like Linda who have published books and have a public profile. The other part of the project is to talk to anyone who has a story to tell, has something to get off their chest, has a dumpster fire of crap that has been burning in their soul. I can tell you from experience that telling the story of the impact of purity culture on your life can be transformative. It took me 10 years of graduate school and a lot of student debt to do it, but I promise this will be much easier, much briefer, and way less expensive. So now I know for some of you this may create a lot of anxiety. You may have stories that you've never shared before. You may be worried about what people in your community may think about you, family members. You may worry that this will jeopardize relationships. So let me tell you some more about how a research project like this works. As a professional researcher, my obligation is to provide you with as much confidentiality as possible. As you go through the website, Purity Project, the AfterPurityProject.squarespace.com, you'll see that I have made multiple efforts to allow you to share your story and protect your personal identifying information. The entire project is done online. And any contact that you have with me or other people will be through the internet. And in order to get approval for all of that, I spent 5 months developing a research protocol, including the website, that secures your information in several ways. And before I could even launch the project, I had to have the approval of something called the Institutional Review Board at my university. So a lot of people have already been working to make sure your information and identity are protected. Shout out to Tim, our IT director at my college, and to Kate, who dutifully reviewed my project and got me to where I am today. So thank you both. So when you go to the website, AfterPurityProject.squarespace.com, you will be able to click on the consent form. All of the details will be outlined in painstaking detail, but it's all there for your protection. And so feel free to read as much as makes you feel secure. And this is my legal obligation to you, and I cannot get anything from you. I can't get any information from you. Can't ask you any questions until you have read that document, you understood everything, you've had all your questions answered, and have signed it. As we say here at CMU, consent is central. So your consenting to participate in this project is of course very important. If you have other questions that are not covered by the website, by the consent form, you of course can contact me in a variety of ways. Here I have a card for that. So here is me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, though Instagram is mostly about looking at pictures of my dog. There's my email, my Gmail, and of course you can look me up at CMU's website. So I'm happy to answer all of your questions, talk you through the study, tell you more about myself, whatever information you need to make this decision. So that is all for now. Take some time, Google me. ask people about my book. You can check out my book, and then take a look at the consent form. So I do want to add at this point, because it is May 20, and most of us are in states where we are still under stay-at-home orders because of COVID-19. And I've really asked a lot of myself in terms of when is the right time to start the project, because I know life is really overwhelming for a lot of people. And so I'm just putting it out there. I'm offering it as an opportunity for anyone who is ready at this time to participate. But I can assure you that the project is going to be online for at least the next 12 months. So if right now life feels unmanageable and this is something you want to do and it's just not the right time, please don't worry about it. It will still be there for you. I will still be working on this project thanks to some generous grants. I can take my time with this project. So we are in a moment right now where we just need to take extra time. So please do so, and don't hesitate to be in touch. So thank you so much. Stay well, stay home, and stay safe.